Hello everyone, I welcome all of you to my channel. This is MEENU AGRAWAL. Today's topic is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Okay, and in that it will be also divided into many sections. So today's topic is microsporogenesis. So before moving to microsporogenesis, let's look at the general structure of a flower. What are the different parts of a flower? It's just a quick review for you people, as you people are already knowing about it at this stage. So if you look at a flower, it has got basically four parts, as you can see here. Now this is your sepals. Okay, these are the green parts, which you find at the lower base of a flower. Okay, so and in the bud condition, these sepals closely enclose your all petals, everything which are there inside, and these are brightly colored petals you can see here. So petals are brightly colored, and you can see here that there is a male part which is called as stamen. I hope you people are aware with this, that the male part of a flower is called as what? It is called as stamen. It is called as stamen. Okay, which consists of what? It consists of your what? Anther, and it also consists of your filament. So your stamen is consisting of what? It consists of anther and your filament, isn't it? So these are the two major things that make up your stamen, and they are what? They are the male part of your flower. Okay, now there is a female part of a flower. As you can see here, this is your stigma, style, and this is your ovary. See, this part is your ovary. This part of a flower is your ovary. Let me see. This is part is your ovary. Okay, so this part is your ovary. Fine. So the female part is called as what? It is called as pistil. We also call it as carpel, and it is made up of what? It is made up of this pistil, and carpel is made up of what? It is made up of stigma, style, and ovary. Okay, this is your female part of a flower. Stamen is your male part. These are the two parts. Then comes your petals, and then comes your sepals. Okay, and this is the stalk pedicel through which, this is the stalk by which it is attached, and this part is known as thalamus. Okay, this part is your thalamus, and this part is your stalk is called as pedicel. Okay, so now these are the different parts of a flower. Remember that there are two terms which we use basically, that is your complete flower and incomplete flower. Complete flower, when is your flower complete? When it has got all the four floral parts, that it has got sepals, petals, stamen, and your pistil. If it has got all the four parts, we call it as a complete flower. If any one of them is also missing, then we call it as what? We call it as incomplete flower. Then we call it as incomplete flower. Now you can see here that this is your anther, isn't it? And this is your anther, as you can see here, and it is the section of your anther, and you can see that it has got two lobes. This is one lobe and this is another lobe. Suppose I make it for you. So this is your filament, and this is your, you must have seen with a magnifying glass also you can observe it, that this is your, these are the two lobes of your anther. Okay, though this is bilobe, the anther could, the filament could be even having single lobe. They are monothecous, they are dithecous, they are monothecous. So depending upon the number of lobes, we call them. Now this each lobe, if you cut the transverse section, what do you get? You get structure like this. Now each lobe is having what? It is having two chambers. As you can see here, we call them as what? We call them as pollen sac. We can also call them as pollen chamber. And we also, do you remember the term sporangium? Okay, we also call them as microsporangium. Okay, microsporangium. Okay, now the size has reduced from that. Okay, now if you are coming towards this, now if you look at the section of it, you will see that it has got 4 layers. Okay, if you look at it, it has got 4 layers. The outermost layer is known as epidermis. Inner to it is your endothecum. As you can see, this is your endothecum layer, and this part is your middle layer. Okay, and these 3 layers basically are involved in what? In protection. In protection. In protection they are involved. Okay, and your this sporogenous tissue, this one, the sporogenous tissue, it acts as your what? It acts your microspore mother cell. Okay, it acts as a macrospore mother cell, and this tapetum, as you can see, which is surrounding your sporogenous cells, see, it has got many roles. Like one of the major important role it has is that it plays important role in nourishment, in nourishing your macrospore mother cell. Okay, and it is also important in, it releases an enzyme called as callase. Now we will see what is callose, and why this enzyme callase is released from the tapetum. Okay, so moving on with macrosporogenesis, as I have already drawn this diagram for you, as you can see here, this is your macrospore mother cell. Okay, this is your macrospore mother cell, which is none other than your sporogenous cells. These are your what? This is your sporogenous cell. See, again I'm repeating so that it gets fixed into your memory. Now you can see that it has got a callose wall. Now inside these sporogenous cells, they are quite closely linked together, and you know that in case of plant cell, they have got plasmodesmata connections, and this callose wall is formed. Callose is basically formed of your glucose, and they form a glycan like structure. Okay, uh, fine. So basically this callose is formed to just uh, break somewhere the plasmodesmata connections of the cells, and this has got a very important role because it acts as a physical barrier. This callose is acting as what? As a physical barrier. It is acting as a physical barrier. Okay, it is acting as a physical barrier to prevent what? Premature swelling and bursting of your pollen grains. So it acts as a physical barrier to prevent, it prevents from this pollen, no, these pollens too, from bursting and uh, swelling. Okay, so now let's look at the process. Now this is a macrospore mother cell, as you people know it. Okay, now this undergoes what? Which process will it undergo? It will go meiosis 1. Now you have read about meiosis in class 11th. So what is happening in meiosis? Your homologous chromosomes separate. So this is your 2n condition. The cell is diploid. It undergoes meiosis 1, your homologous chromosomes separate, and it gives rise to 2 nuclei with n number of chromosomes. The chromosome number gets reduced. Meiosis 2 is exactly like mitosis. So your chromatid, sister chromatid separate, and you get 4 nucleus, which is having what? N number of chromosomes. All of them are having N number of chromosomes. So you can see, and remember one thing, that this now callus is also very important in the formation of now the outer wall of your pollen grain, which is called as exine. And this exine has got a very tougher substance it is made up of, which is called as sporopollenin, okay, which is hardest substance. And if I have to label it here in this diagram which I have made for you, so this black part is your, the thicker black part which I have drawn for you is your exine, okay. And now the regions where it is you don't see, this is your intine, and from here these regions which is not having sporopollenin or exine, from here only what is formed? Your pollen tube. They act as a germ pore. From only these areas, now from these areas only your pollen tube can germinate, okay. Now when this macrospore tetrad is formed, each having what? N number of chromosome. Each is having what? N number of chromosome. Now what happens? This pollen grain, will undergo mitosis. Okay. Now when it is, you will see here, right? Like the each is having only one nucleus, a number. Now it undergoes mitosis. One first time it is going, so mitosis 1 हो रहा है, एक बार हो रहा है, तो it is giving rise to 2 cell. This is called your vegetative cell, and it gives rise to 2 cell, and this is your generative cell. Both are having n number of chromosome. It is mitosis, remember. Now only here again it will go mitosis, and your only generative cell will further divide and give rise to you what? It will give rise to 2 now generative nuclei, है ना? Generative nuclei, okay. Fine. So see, some pollen grains are shed at your what? They are shed at your bipolar stage, bicellular stage. Okay, that is they are having 2 kind of cells. That is your vegetative cell and vegetative cell, and but it is all are lying in the same cell. So there is a your uh, generative cell. Okay, so this is bicellular pollen, and around 60% of them they are released at bicellular stage, and very few are, that is 40% are released as tricellular stage. And remember this vegetative nuclei, it will give rise to what? It will give rise to your it will form your pollen tube. It will form your what? Pollen tube. It will give rise to your pollen tube. Okay, and the generative nuclei, it acts as a male nuclei. Okay, and what will happen to it we will see later on. Okay, so I hope this is clear. So thank you for watching. Keep subscribing me and keep watching my videos. Thank you. God bless you all.